Well, hello guys, welcome back. So, I want to thank you guys for the support. YouTube has been doing stuff behind the scenes that's super stressful. Basically, as I told you guys, they're having us measure how well we think we did and report on everything we did in the video every time we try to monetize. And then they rate you and they have a secret rating somewhere of how well they think you did. And I realized a couple times I swore in a video and reported it as having not sworn, and I don't even pick it up because it's so natural and organic, and there are words I don't even consider swear words anymore, and I'm like, "Ugh, great, great." And then they sent us this survey and I deleted it. Then they sent me it again and I'm like, okay, I know YouTube by now. They want me to play ball or they're going to hurt me. And what did they want me to play ball on? Well, they want you to basically fill out this survey that makes you hear boots marching in the streets. And they're like, well, what color do you identify as? And like, are you homosexual? And do you identify as trans? And I'm like, is this just YouTube actually trying to be nice to gay people? Or are you rounding us all up? Should we be scared or thrilled or a combination of both? And trans is a bit of a sticky wicket because a lot of people now, I think, are using it for shock value or they're claiming it or they're getting into it without doing the due diligence. There used to be a reason why if you wanted to transition, you had to go, at least in my day, I'm sure it's different now because I just haven't kept up with stuff. As I was considering transitioning, you had to go to therapy for years and you had to find, at the time, at least the way it worked in my area, you had to find a psychiatrist who would agree to say, yes, this person needs surgery because being the whatever gender they want to be, and at the time there were only two flavors. This is back in the day. Well, then that will help them become a more productive member of society. It will, complete them and everything else. And it's really something they need because they truly are just, not comfortable or disassociating or whatever term they used with the gender they were assigned at birth. Like they were born a woman, but they truly are a man, and so they need to have this surgery to be a man. And it's an expensive process, it's a lengthy process, it's a dangerous process because it puts you out there in the spotlight and you can never go back. And the thing is, more than people that get the surgery actually fit under the trans umbrella, and I don't want to have a fight with gay people about this, but basically trans umbrella can cover a huge amount of people, from people that do get the surgery to people that are considering the surgery to people that they are transsexual but they are not going to get the surgery. And I had considered surgery for a long time and I thought, you know what? It wouldn't make me happy. I knew without going to a psychiatrist, I knew with whatever else. I'd wanted to be a man for years. I'd wanted to transition. Explains a lot about this channel, come to think of it. But at the end of the day, I didn't think anything was going to be any better for me as a man. It wasn't like I wanted to become a man and like start a family or something. I had like no real solid plans. After becoming a dude, it was like hang out at the beach and surf. I didn't have the best plan. Most transsexual people have a definite game plan of, yeah, once I become X, Y, or Z, this is my life goal and this will help me fulfill that life goal. And I'm like, I really have nothing. I just want to hang out at the beach and surf, be a dude. That's it. That's like, I don't have very good ambitions. And so I never really considered the surgery all that seriously. I did consider it, but I never went in for it, and I never talked to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a doctor or anything. And so there are people that, unless you're getting the surgery or you've had the surgery or you're serious about it, they don't want you using trans. And I had been like, yeah, I'm technically transsexual because pansexual, gender fluid people are considered, trans. But a lot of people don't want us under the same umbrella. And I'm like, oh shit, what if they start putting transsexual in my tags and people come on and go, you look like your birth gender. You don't look like you transition. And though if you look at me, I might look like they botched the surgery. I looked at Look and I said, at least I'm unattractive enough as a female that I can look like they botched the surgery. I could pass. And the worst thing is, I grow the stubble on my chin. So it could look like my medication is running off. We might as well laugh at this, guys. And I said, I could get a lot of hate from the gay community now, too, because there are a lot of trans people that if you haven't transitioned, if you haven't got the surgery or you're not going to the surgery, they want you out of the community. For you straight people, the gay community doesn't all love each other. There's a lot of hate and a lot of factions and a lot of, we don't want you over here with us. And if you're pansexual, you're already fucked anyways. It's like, you don't exist. You're a confused straight person. You're confused bisexual. You're a confused lesbian. You're a confused whatever straight person. You need to go home and be with a man. And this is gay people telling you this shit. And it's like, fuck you, bitch. So, it's really, really hard. And I've been trying on top of all that angst, I've been trying to get this channel going. So I've been trying to better myself and improve myself. And I'm like, I don't want to fit in the YouTube mold, but if they are going to give me the goodie for behaving, if they were going to give me the goodie for behaving, I don't want to do it, but I've always had the idea that because I followed my brother in school, my brother was hell on earth. I learned the hard way that I didn't even have to do anything to be punished for transgressing. I will follow the rules, therefore. I will follow the rules. I don't have to like them. I can actively hate them, but I will follow them. I will follow them. And I'm like, well, I will try to do this. I will try to be the proper, great, holier than whatever YouTuber that doesn't swear and is always positive and everything else. And I'm not like that, guys. I'm not. You people that have been with the channel for a while, I swear, I get mad, I throw things, I come onto the camera and I scream and I pound on my desk. And you've probably been wondering where all that's been. It's been off camera is where it's been. It still exists. You're just not seeing it. It's like I haven't improved at all as a human being. In fact, I've gotten even worse because I'm coming onto camera and I'm acting like I have my life together and my shit together and I'm achieving stuff and I'm getting better and better and better, and off camera I'm just foaming at the mouth and I'm me, and it's not getting better. And Odin looked at me after he told me to stop today and he said, he didn't mean stop the channel. He meant, stop trying to be what you're not. And I'd gone to this guy's video. I don't know if I mentioned this guy, and I could tell this guy and I wouldn't get along. And I don't know what made me choose his channel, but he said, he was very insulting and very abrupt. And he said, you, meaning you, and he points at the screen like this. You are wearing a mask, and you've been wearing a mask so long you don't even know who you are anymore. And he's insulting the hell out of people watching him. And I'm like, part of me likes him because that's how I usually am. But, I'm usually insulting and abrasive. I'm kind of a dick. I'm aware of that. But part of me was like, well, this is why your analytics are where they are, dear. I mean, he's supposedly driving around in this Bentley, and I'm like, I can't see enough to tell this is a Bentley. And do they really shift around like that? Dude, that looks pretty ratchet. He's supposedly in the backseat of this Bentley, and like they're filming, and it's going ba-boing, 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 and I'm like, they give that rough a ride, man. I've been in those Land Rover things that cost fortunes, and they don't even go all over the road like that. They're pretty rough because they're meant for the desert, but people insist on driving them on asphalt, and that's like the worst ride ever. But even they're not that bad. And, and I've been in expensive vehicles, and usually they don't do that. The more expensive they are, the smoother the ride, and this thing was just going blah, 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 blah. But he's saying, business advice. Why'd you start your business? And I'm like, by accident. Before I had a couple strokes and I went on depression medication and started this channel as an offshoot of my writing career. Did not want to have a channel, just wanted to, supplement my articles. Then a couple strokes and a specter, and the other channel became a dumpster fire. And, I ended up fleeing to here to avoid the dumpster fire of the other channel. And someone said, why don't you shut down that dumpster fire? Because the dumpster fire is still making me money. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, guys, stroke brain, and I just sit here for hours sometimes trying. And so I can't remember each take what I'm saying. And that dumpster fire that still poisons this channel to this day is making me money. Is why I keep it up. Is why I keep it up. It's money. It's some people would say, well, it's not, enough money to them to put up with that and to put up with getting triggered and everything. It's better than I'm doing here. And ironically, when I left, it started to grow as a channel. The longer I stay away, the higher my subscription count is. And I'm like, at this point, I better never go back, because if I do, I've tried. I've tried going back, and 500 to 700 people just dropped me overnight. And I'm like, it does better when I'm not there. It does better when I'm not there. This channel will probably do better too. There's something about starting a channel and just leaving that everybody starts to subscribe and starts to work with the content. And I'm like, well, I still want to be here, but is this the time for me to leave this one too? Is that what would fix it? Me walking away and not being here, and just the fact of me being gone, everybody's like, oh, she finally left, thank the gods, and they come and they watch. And I think Odin's just like, you're failing so hard now because you're giving yourself the stress of trying to be a nice person. And he's already told me I'm not a nice person. And he doesn't care, because he's not a nice person either. He's like, you're not a nice person. You have that in your toolkit. You can be sweet and kind and everything, but he said at the end of the day, you're as grumpy and as growly and as angry and as punching things as I am. And he says, you're splitting yourself right down the middle. He said, you're never going to attain enlightenment, and if you were God, you were the angry part of Shiva that wants to destroy everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, because, I do have a lot of anger in me. I do. No matter how much I meditate, no matter how much I do, no matter what I put in my diet, I've tried vegan and everything. It doesn't help. I'm an angry person. And, I don't want to become one of those channels where they come on and they scream into the microphone that guys know I could. I mean, if I really let loose, I'm relatively calm now. I'm relatively calm. If I really let loose, I would really be coming on the channel every day. I'm embarrassed to look back at what my videos were like years ago, because I have learned some self-control, but I used to come on and fucking pop off about everything. You longtime viewers, the gods bless you and keep you, because I used to just fucking pop off about everything. I mean, the spectre and the depression were probably not helping, but somebody would say the littlest, tiniest thing, and I would fall for it, and I'd be like, on camera for like a half hour. And I never got them in one take back then either. So that was hours of me raging into a camera. That's my temper. And I said, he's right. He's right. I'm driving myself crazy trying to be this really nice person when I'm not. And, I'm not quite as bad, I think, as he is saying. And I'm not quite as bad as some of my angriest videos would indicate. But I'm not quite as nice as I've been trying to be either. I just have to find that way to come on and be my real authentic self, whatever I'm feeling that day. If I'm feeling nice, be that. But if a cranky bitch is out and wants to play, be that too. And I feel afraid to do that on YouTube anymore. I feel afraid to come on and be real with you guys. And this feels like the first time we've sat down together and really talked for years, because I feel afraid to be myself on YouTube anymore. Because I feel like if I'm really myself, I'm going to go back tomorrow and I'm not going to have a channel. Be yourself? Do you work here anymore? Because you're not allowed to be yourself. So I've just been under incredible stress, guys, today, and I cracked, and I think that's why Odin did the butterfly thing, kind of like one of those wax on, wax off things, because putting up a couple hundred butterflies will really put you in contemplative mood, and I've been thinking about stuff, and I'm like, I'm more the ferocious warrior part of the butterfly. I can be sweet and kind and everything too, but I have to figure out a way to get this channel back to being real, to being actually real. Not to saying we're keeping it real and then like I'm editing 80% of my personality and language out. I have to keep it real. So what I might have to do eventually to keep monetizing videos is be like, you know what? Make the video, swear, do whatever you need to do, and just monetize it. And either they're going to take monetization away from you, or they're not going to agree with you, and you're going to go back to the default check. which would probably be a blessing because it's too much stress on me to figure out how many times I swore in a video. I mean, seriously? Like, how much is too much and who gets to decide? So, it's like I've heard some other YouTubers. I'm not nearly as bad anymore. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. That is not rhetorical. And I will see you guys later. Bye bye.